All right, guys, so we have our next big Hollywood A-list celebrity hitting Netflix with this original Spenser Confidential. It is Mr. Mark Wahlberg's debut into the whole streaming game. Let's see if his first film is a flop or not. What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review, this time for the film Spenser Confidential, starring Mr. Mark Wahlberg alongside Winston Duke and Alan Arkin. Now, this film is directed by Peter Berg, who you guys know if you have followed his films. He does have Mark Wahlberg all through his resume. So we're talking about Mile 22, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, you name it. This guy is Mark Wahlberg's best bud. Now, before we get into the film, what this movie's about, my likes and dislikes for the film, make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up and the subscribe and bell notification for more movie content like this. I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, out and about vlogs. So make sure you guys show love to the channel today by hitting that subscribe button. We're creeping up on almost 6,000 followers. Thank you guys so much. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Flicks Talk. All right, so the quick synopsis for this film is: when two Boston police officers are murdered, ex-cop Spenser teams up with his no-nonsense roommate, Hawk, to take down criminals. All right, so right off the bat, guys, I am a huge Mark Wahlberg fan. Of course, he's had his hits and his misses, but recently it seems like he's been having a lot of misses, especially with Mile 22. I thought that was one of the worst action movies I had seen in years, guys, and I know it's not really his fault. He's kind of a one note when it comes to playing these Boston characters. I mean, he definitely has that thick Boston accent, and we don't get anything different from this film, Spenser Confidential, as it is set in the heart of Boston. So you get a lot of things that are relative to Mark Wahlberg's character. It seems very natural in that, pacing when we get to see him kind of return to his neighborhood. And this kind of leads to my likes. So right off the bat, you get to see Mark Wahlberg's character, Spenser, come out from doing a 5-year bid in prison after an assault on a police officer who was dirty, who was dealing in some shady business. So he does his 5-year bid. And on a side note, you get to see Mr. Post Malone in a cameo as a prison inmate. So that was kind of cool to see. And the first 30 minutes of this film did hold my interest, of him just kind of returning to the streets of Boston, kind of bettering his life, trying to stay out of trouble. He is looking to move to Arizona and out of the neighborhood just to start fresh. But guess what? Some events unfold from his past that really lead to him becoming a Serpico type of character, where he starts to drag his roommate, Mr. Winston Duke, which was a cool addition. It's just that, unfortunately, and here go my dislikes, because I have a lot more dislikes than likes for this movie, guys, is the characters themselves. I mean, Mr. Winston Duke is someone who I got introduced to in Wakanda from Black Panther. We got to see him in Us, and I thought he did phenomenal in both those movies, as well as Avengers, guys. So his character in this movie was very boring and bland, and he pretty much just played the muscle of this movie, and it was someone that you really didn't even care too much about. He was just someone that was like a Hulk character that just kind of mowing down thugs for Mr. Mark Wahlberg as he's doing his investigating on why things are happening. There's a lot of shady deals. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. I know we're already kind of into it, but you guys know that all my reviews are spoiler free unless otherwise noted. So like I said, guys, the first 30 minutes was very serious, but then you get a lot of this dry wit and humor thrown in there from Alan Arkin's character. You get Mark Wahlberg's ex thrown in there for some dry Boston type of humor. It was just very annoying, and it just seemed out of place. It was just kind of a train wreck of kind of what you don't really want to do in a movie, as the moviegoer like myself didn't know what to feel. Was this a drama? Was it a comedy? Was it a thriller?
God, you got me. Shit, he's FaceTiming me.
He doesn't know how to FaceTime.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I got kind of a little bit of everything minus the comedy, because I think they were really pushing it, trying way too hard, and it lost my interest as I just kept jumping on my phone. It was a little hard to watch, especially there's a scene with a dog and Mark Wahlberg that went on so damn long, and it didn't even need to be in the movie. And once we got to our final conclusion and outcome of everything, it was extremely predictable. This felt like a mesh of just cheap action movies movies like Mile 22, Four Brothers, and I loved Four Brothers, but it just seemed like a mesh of this whole Boston type of scene where, you know, cops are going crooked, but it didn't seem like anything very fresh, guys, at all whatsoever. We've seen this before, but maybe try going back to the drawing board. And there was about 4 writers attached to this film, guys. One of those being a writer for Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, which I thought was an exceptional movie. This was a bit let down, guys, if I'm being completely honest, as far as Mark Wahlberg's debut into Netflix films. I'm gonna say go back to the drawing board, get some better directors and writers, guys, for projects dealing with A-list celebrities, and let's go with the Netflix train. But this one is definitely a in my books. And that being said, guys, I'm gonna give Spenser Confidential a big 2.5 out of 5, saying it was just average. Maybe if you guys are into extreme crime movies, give it a watch. It was kind of boring towards the middle, and the payoff wasn't that great. And like I said, it had characters that you really didn't give a damn about. On a side note, guys, I did take a picture because I thought it was extremely funny. This is the #1 film in America right now for Netflix. Kind of hard to believe with so much content on Netflix. This is the most popular one being watched right now. This film did come out March 6th, by the way, guys, 2020. So I can understand the buzz and hype around it, especially having the debut from Mark Wahlberg. All right, guys. So are you going to check out Spenser Confidential this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Or are you going to pass up on it altogether? And if you guys did appreciate this review, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification for more content like this. Till next reaction or review, I'm gone. Peace.